is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Twigger, and I have another high ELO commentary for you, focusing on Origens Amazing, the jungler for Team Origin in the EU LCS, playing as Kha'Zix, which should be actually phenomenally exciting, because if you've watched the EU LCS, at least the 2016 summer split, you know that he hasn't played Kha'Zix yet this split. He's played quite a bit of Gragas and Rek'Sai and Nidalee and Kindred, but not yet Kha'Zix. So the fact that he's playing this in solo queue might mean that he might be bringing this out next week or this week, or God knows. Hopefully we do see it, because Kha'Zix is one of my favorite junglers to commentate, because it is just such a potent damage dealing champion that in the late game can absolutely erase a target, kind of like Rengar, but less absolutely terrifying. I also wanted to just point out that, in fact, OG's Smeb over here is, in fact, Soaz, but I can't even really talk about that because, wow, a lot of action is going down immediately. Gonna actually rewind so that way we can see what happens. It looks like nothing really happened up in the top lane, but we do have a Fizz versus an Alawi up in the top, and it looks like they're just duking it out constantly. Fizz did manage to dodge the damage coming down from the tentacle from Alawi, but tried to flash, but then get hit by the last tick from that tentacle coming down. Very, very nicely played by Alawi, and it looks like nothing actually happened in the bottom lane. So this is, in fact, Soaz. OG's Smeb is just another account for Soaz. Not playing up in the top lane this time, is playing support. Got sadly demoted to the support role, or whatever you want to think. Fizz did try to TP up there and get the Alawi, but just not quick enough. So I should at least go over what the champions are in this game. I'm not even going to be able to talk about that, because here comes the Nidalee trying to land the spear. Not going to quite land, but does have those red buff procs onto the Thresh. Going to try to get a kill onto the Braum, but the Ezreal just didn't have enough damage to get the kill, and Sivir picking up her first kill of the game. So up in the top lane, we have an Alawi versus a Fizz. In the jungle, we have Kha'Zix versus Nidalee. In the mid lane, TF versus the new champion, Talia. And then in the bot, we have Ezreal Thresh versus Sivir Braum. Very, very standard lanes in the bot lane. I'm curious to see how the TF does against the Talia. Both of them are very good ranged champions, but they both provide a lot of burst to potential when you need to. But they both require, I think, a certain level of skill to not only lock in gold cards, but also to push people through the minefield. Great amount of damage coming in through the minefield, and looks like the TF is going to flash away, but the spear is going to be on point. Nidalee making sure to secure that kill even after the flash from TF. Very, very nice gank from the Nidalee, already making her presence quite known in the early stages of this game. But as we were talking about before, Origens Jungler Amazing, playing on Kha'Zix. His isolation damage, when he is able to isolate a target, depending on what type of damage items he builds, can do an insane amount of damage, to the point of just absolutely one-shotting anybody. Really, like the Sivir, he could one-shot the Talia, he could probably one-shot the Nidalee, just depending on how good Amazing is at playing Kha'Zix, and how well he is at kind of waiting in the fog of war, and then jumping in to almost clean up a fight rather than to start one. Or if he is going to start one, he's hopefully going to assassinate somebody, which starts off the fight, and hopefully with the jump reset, he can get out of there, and then his team can kind of clean up the rest of the fight. So we'll try to focus on what he's maxing, what he evolves, what he builds, just so we have some idea about how the pros play Kha'Zix in the jungle. But we are also going to be talking about the game in its entirety, so that way you know how everything is developing. Right now, there's just over a 1,000 gold lead in favor of the blue side. Of course, that coming from the first blood and the additional 2 kills that they've gotten. Alawi, just in terms of this top lane, has in fact received a couple buffs this patch, so she is quite a bit stronger. Fizz right now does have the mana advantage over Alawi, but not really going to be able to do anything else, because she can just still auto attack you to death. But there is enough damage to get that W off. Fizz does have Playful Trickster up, but taking a lot of damage. Gonna have to Playful Trickster away from that one. Right now, Fizz just getting the raw end of that Alawi. Really just, you thought that Fizz would have been okay with making some calamari out of Alawi's tentacles, but nope, it looks like the fried fish is coming up for Alawi to eat. In the bot lane, though, we have a very standard bot lane with Sivir Braum. Sivir just still, like, she was so... Oh, Kha'Zix coming in, though. Not sure if he's going to have enough. Is going to flash. The Q is going to be back up again, getting that isolation damage off through the flash, and that is going to be the first kill of the game, going in favor of Origens Amazing. Very, very nicely done on that one, just being up in the right place at the right time. Might give Fizz a little bit of time to free farm due to the fact that Alawi's flash is down. But right now, Nidalee is here. Kha'Zix is going to jump in on this one. Fizz is here as well. Doesn't have his flash available, though. TF is going to teleport in, though. The flash coming out from the Nidalee just to get away from this one. So it was basically a TF ultimate for the flash of Nidalee, which was definitely worth it, because of course TF's ultimate is on a much lower cooldown than Nidalee's flash. So very, very nicely done from that team. Just want to talk as well Kha'Zix, well, at least Amazing, is going for that poacher's knife, which means that he's going for a little bit more vision control. Tends to be more of the jungle style that Amazing plays. You don't really see him carrying games all that much. Even when he plays champions like Kindred, he does tend to, I don't find carry. I find that he just really likes to help his team out and allow other people to carry the game. But we're seeing it even on a Kha'Zix, which is more of an assassin type champion, going for that poacher's knife, not looking for more damage, looking for more vision control so we can abuse the jungler probably. But of course, Nidalee, on the other hand, going the exact opposite direction, going for that skirmisher's blade, and with the Aether Wisp, that's what it's called. Definitely going to be going for that Runic Echoes, so going for the exact opposite style. Definitely wants to have that carry potential as a jungler, especially with that early first kill. Nice failed spell shield from that Sivir, getting a Mystic Shot straight to her face, and you once again have that Illaoi just constantly utilizing that E to get that really, really annoying tentacle harassment off on whoever she does happen to grab. So, some interesting things going on in this early game, but now it seems to have settled down. Nobody seems to want to fight all that much, and everybody seems to be quite content with just farming things up. But right now, as we can see, the lead has already been grown a little bit for the blue side, almost at a 2,000 gold lead, just a couple hundred gold off of that. Right now, Amazing is in the bottom side, trying to take down that pink ward in the tri-brush, but not going to be there quite enough time. But right now, TF is going to stun up the Nidalee. She does not have any flash available, with the ultimate being used by Talia to block off their escape. I think they're going to use it. The blue card was locked in from the TF, so they're not going to be able to secure the kill. Onto the Nidalee, and an amazing long-range spear going to land on Amazing. Sadly, it was from the Fog of War, so he wasn't able to do anything about it. The Braum Unbreakable is coming down with the exhaust onto the Ezreal, going to be stunned up by the Sivir as well, using that Braum passive. And right now, the Lantern coming out. A great flash coming out of Sivir as well. The dodgy Arcane Barrage, and the Boomerang Blade is going to be enough to take her down. And right now, Thresh is going to have to jump away from that one, using that flash over the wall. Seems as though I can't even speak today. Having to flash over the wall. Right now, Talia trying to use her passive to try to secure this kill, doing a lot of damage to Soaz, but a great hook is going to land, but it's not going to be enough, and that is going to be a kill for Talia. I feel as though Thresh should have just tried to run away from that one, but to be honest, we did have the Nidalee standing in the brush right behind him, so I don't think Soaz was going to be able to escape that one, even if he did technically escape that one. So very, very nice collapse happening from this this blue team. Great use of the Talia ultimate to go straight across the lane to completely stop the escape from both Kha'Zix and the TF. TF not landing the gold card, only landing a blue card, which meant that Nidalee escaped with her life. And yeah, just a solid cleanup right now. Kha'Zix 1-1-0, TF 0-1-0, but TF at least does have the lead in terms of CS, and right now, of course, Fizz using that TP to try to get back into base. Chum the waters immediately, and managing to dodge the ultimate from Illaoi as well. That's going to be a huge advantage for Kha'Zix and Fizz, but she is so tanky and does so much damage. Standing by that one tentacle just to try to utilize that damage is going to be coming out, but a great amount of aggro dropping basically from these two champions, making sure that they both walk out and take as much damage from Illaoi as possible before dying, and then running away to make sure that the other guy could clean up the kill. Very, very nicely done. Amazing picking up his second kill of the game, and Fizz getting that assist, which is very, very nice. But we're seeing, even against two people, that was an insane amount of damage. And I'm not entirely sure what Thresh was doing up there, but it was a great idea because he got an assist just by putting a lantern down. Bravo, Thresh! Bravo! That's what I would do. So they are slowly but surely trying to claw their way back into the money game, but we're still looking at just about a 2,000 gold lead in favor of the blue side. Right now we do have a CS advantage, 79-67 in favor of the Fizz, 36-54 in favor of the Nidalee, 86-75 in favor of TF, and 86-74 in favor of Sivir. Even the Braum has a little bit of a lead over top of that Thresh, but they both have the Relic Shield, so they're both trying to get every little piece of CS that they possibly can to give it to themselves and also their AD carry. We do have a cull on the Ezreal, so definitely looking to get that extra little bit of money, because of course, when you're playing as Ezreal, especially when you're going for the kind of the current blue build, it's a very expensive build. You have to build the Iceborne Gauntlets, and you have to build that Manamune. They are not inexpensive items, so getting that cull, looking like he just wants to farm up, make sure that he can get that extra bonus gold from getting the stacks onto the cull, and then hopefully get to those items just a little bit quicker. Right now, we of course do have the top lane fighting once again, but I still think that Fizz is going to be a little bit out of his element for a little while. TF is going to teleport in. Right now, the Talia ultimate going down as well, blocking off all four members. This is an amazing Talia ultimate, blocking them right into a corner. The TF having to flash away, but right now, a lot of damage going down onto Nidalee. The Q landing onto Soaz, trying to run away from this one, but taking a lot of damage. Is going to get stunned up by the Sivir eventually, and that is going to be a kill. The ultimate coming down, Glacial Fissure onto the Ezreal, but it's not going to be enough damage to take him down. But what a phenomenal Talia ultimate, basically locking the entire team into a corner. The ultimate coming down from the Illaoi and flashing away to make sure that the Chum the Waters plus the turret was not going to be enough damage to take her down, and that is going to be another kill in favor of Illaoi. 2-2-0 with a great roam coming from the Talia. I just can't express how amazing that wall was. That is how you should use that ability. I've seen so many people do it wrong, including myself. I suck at it, but that was so well done, that roam with the Nidalee as well. Looks like the bottom lane is going to be taking down this turret slowly but surely, but currently just having a seizure around the turret just to let the turret know that we can move quite quickly. Our APM is quite fast, but they are going to be taking this one down. There it is, the first turret of the game going in favor of the blue side, now sitting at a 21.7k to 17.5k in favor of the blue side. I'm not entirely sure what the red team needs to do here. I think they really just need to farm up and kind of hope that in the later portions of the game they can get some good picks or some good roams from the TF and the Kha'Zix. But right now, with the way that things are going, Nidalee is getting phenomenally strong. Kha'Zix is going to jump over onto Nidalee, though, doing nearly all of her HP with a Q combo. Look at this damage coming from Kha'Zix. Is going to dive this one. Not doing a ton of damage because of the Skirmisher's Blade Smite, but is going to be enough to take her down. And that is the power of Kha'Zix. When he has warriors and he's isolated, his target can melt people. But right now he might be in a little bit of trouble because Braum is going to find him and land the Q. A lot of damage coming down, and Talia is going to be there for the retaliation, and that is going to be a dead bug just right on the windshield of Talia. And it looks like Ezreal is not going to make it out of here okay. Talia, sorry, Illaoi's going to start fighting him. Right now, the minefield is going down for Talia, but not going to knock TF into it. But a lot of damage coming down from her Q with that Morellonomicon, but not really going to be too much of a fight here. It looks like the Thresh was able to save the Ezreal from the grips, or the suction cups, I guess, of Illaoi. And everybody seems to have rotated. And the one thing that I love about watching like professional play is that they do tend to do this. Like, it's basically LCS stats right here, or strats. They rotate after the bot lane has been taken. Now you have the bottom lane up in the top side to take down that top lane turret, while Illaoi holds the bot lane to get some farm. Like, it's just so well done, because right now the Fizz can't do anything against these two. He's already playful trickstering away. He even had the Arcane Barrage to try to clear out some of the minions from the Ezreal, and now he has to go B, and that is probably going to be the turret. The ultimate being popped by the Sivir. Does have the Talia here as well, not going to be knocked up, and the Thresh is going to be here just in time. Soaz really showing how well he can roam. I barely even know where the Thresh is, but he's always in the right place at the right time, and he's going to be able to save the Fizz from his, well, pretty much inevitable demise on that one. But here comes the Talia ultimate once again, blocking off just the Thresh on this one. The Ezreal was able to get over the wall this time with the Arcane Shift, but TF is now here, and the teleport coming down as well. The exhaust onto TF means he is going to be caught down by the Illaoi. It looks like Fizz is now here, but I'm sorry, against all these people, I don't know if they're going to have enough. They are turning onto the Sivir to try to take her down, but the Mystic Shot is not going to be hit. It's going to be blocked by the Spell Shield. Shutdown going for the Kha'Zix, picking off the Sivir for the first kill of this fight for the red team, and it looks like the Q does land, even through the jump of the Braum. That's going to be a double kill for Amazing Kha'Zix, and Ezreal does manage to get away from this one. All in all, a 3, because the Thresh did die. So that was a 3-for-3 exchange. But while all of this was going on, Nidalee was just pushing the bottom lane, which means that she got another turret and started doing a lot of damage to the inhibitor turret, and is now showing off her belly because she is a kitty and she likes being pet. So, unbelievable amount of action in the first 15 minutes of this game, with a 12-7 scoreline, and now a 29.3 to a 23.5k gold lead. This is nuts how much of a lead they already have so early into the game. And it's not even, when you're in a game like this, when you look at it, like a 6,000 gold lead is pretty substantial, but it's not unbearable. You can definitely make your way back from that one. Amazing, taking so much damage. Gonna have to flash away from that Talia Q to make sure that he doesn't die from that. It's not an unbearable and insurmountable amount to come back from, but we are going to talk about the fight that's going on in the top lane. Illaoi is going to miss her E, but so much damage is coming down from these tentacles. It is almost going to be enough. The playful trickster coming down from the Fizz, but the W is going to be able to clean that one up. Illaoi doing so much damage here. Mystic Shot is going to miss as well. She's now going to turn onto the Thresh. Just trying to survive this one, but one more auto attack from Soaz is going to be enough to pick that one up. While all that was being said and done, the Sivir did push down the first tier middle lane turret, popping the ultimate as well to try to get onto this TF, but it looks like they're not going to be able to catch him. Soaz is going to put out the lantern, and TF is going to make it to safety. And what I was going to say previously is that a 6,000 gold lead is not insurmountable. You can definitely make that back. The thing that you can't really go back on is just the presence that this blue team has had. It took 3 people to take down that Illaoi. And I mean, 2 people, it was convincing that the Illaoi was going to win that fight. But still, 3 people barely really got the job done. Talia is doing an insane amount of damage. It's just seeming as though the blue side champions are doing much, much better. They're showing a real dominance this game. And that's a tougher thing to come back from rather than just a strict gold lead, because you know how you can come back from that. But how do you respond to the way that they're playing? Right now, the blue side is taking Amazing's jungle as well. There is no dragon to take. The only real objective that's up is the Rift Herald, but that's going to do a lot of damage to you. And if they're roaming the way that they have been roaming, you're not going to be able to take the Rift Herald when you're this low or this far behind. Right now, the ultimate coming down from the Talia, not really going to catch out on anything. They're really just going to kill the Spirit from the, who is it, the Ezreal? Or no, the TF. My lord, those tentacles hit like a sack of bricks. Man, I don't know what type of restaurant you got that calamari from, but I want to eat it. That is definitely some sort of like spiced calamari. Man, that is just making me hungry though. But we do have the Arcane Barrage coming down from the Ezreal, Minefield being laid down by Talia, and they just have such a great amount of pressure here that their siege game is just so good. Talia does get hit with the Chum the Waters, and it looks like Fizz was able to take her down, but a huge ultimate coming down from Illaoi, gonna get hooked in as well, but if they all focus on her, are able to take her down very quickly and convincingly, so that is a play that is gonna be very good for them. Kha'Zix is gonna jump over here, trying to take down the Nidalee, but at least gonna get the Wolves. Q damage coming through, which is a great amount of execute damage, but it's not gonna be enough. Nidalee gonna claim the life of Amazing's Kha'Zix. TP coming down, I believe it's from the TF, the only one who has this teleport available. Sivir now going in onto the Ezreal, the Arcane Shift going down, trying to take down the Sivir. It's going to be enough. Glacial Fissure coming down from the Braum, going to be taken down as well, and that is a double kill for Ezreal. Barely an assist coming down. Blue card locked in from the TF, sadly not going to be enough to take down this Nidalee yet. The ultimate coming down from TF as well. Gonna have to lock in a card eventually. The blue card being locked in again. She's gonna get away from this. He has to flash over the wall. Just lock in a gold card, man. It's the only thing we ask. Another blue card finally manages to get the kill with his Q, but for the love of God, TF, we ask for one thing, and that's a gold card. She would have been dead so long ago if there was one gold card during that entire thing. He does finally manage to get the gold card, and that is a dead kitty, but my lord, TF, we need to have a talk, all right, we need to have a talk. If you're gonna play TF at this skill level, you've got to land those gold cards, man. So 14-13 the current kill score, and you know what, if you're in this game, you're looking at that, and that is definitely a morale boost. You just had a very solid team fight. You got a couple picks, you killed the Illaoi, but right now you have another ultimate coming in from Talia, just locking him once again in a corner. But wow, the E actually knocks him over the wall and into the Lantern of Soaz, and TF is going to get away from that one. Unbelievable. So Talia, I just don't think placed her E correctly, didn't knock TF into the minefield, actually knocked him over the wall, and then they had to chase him to try to get that kill, and they didn't end up securing it. So that was one of the first, and I think one of the most rare mistakes that a Talia player can make, was just knocking him over your own ultimate wall. But very, very funny, and you know what? We have not seen a lot of mistakes from Talia, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. That was just a sad mistake that he will make up for. But even through all of that, they still have such great siege potential, and they're still so far ahead that they're just attacking this second tier turret without much concern for it. Illaoi is taking a lot of damage, having to pop that ultimate though. A great amount of sustain, but it's not going to be quite enough to keep her alive, but it will be enough to do a ton of damage to that red team, and they might just want to utilize that damage to continue this siege. The Playful Tracer over the Krug wall is going to go onto this Nidalee, Chum the Waters as well, but the Rift Herald has been taken. It looks like it's on the Nidalee, I believe. Is it on the Nidalee? Can't even really tell. No, it's not. So I'm not entirely sure who got the buff. Was it? I think it was the blue team that took that thing down. Right now, someone's trying to give a lantern to anybody who will use it, probably onto the Kha'Zix. It looks like Kha'Zix is trying to jump in, but it's still not enough. They take down the second tier turret on the top side, and they're trying to chase this one down. TF does have his ultimate. He has TP'd down over to the Tribush side, but it looks like they are just running away. They don't have an ultimate. Talia is going to get jumped on, but the exhaust onto Amazing is going to negate all of his damage, and now they're turning this fight on its head. Illaoi did TP into the minions that were already here, and now she's back into the fight. Doesn't have an ultimate ultimate though, so gonna have a little bit less damage, but is gonna be up in probably about 5 to 10 seconds. Talia ultimate coming down and the flash coming through from the Braum as well to land the Q, but it's just gonna be followed by a flash lantern from the Ezreal and Thresh combo, and he is going to escape pretty much unharmed on that one. The ultimate coming down from the Sivir as well, and the hook landing onto the Braum, and they're just diving under here. Glacial Fissure gonna go through the inhibitor and nothing else. Sadly, you cannot knock up the inhibitor. Oh, sorry, nobody got the Rift Herald buff. The Rift Herald just died for the Baron. My mistake, I did not notice it. I heard the Rift Herald and thought that somebody took it, but no, it was the Rift Herald just dying and returning to the Void so his big brother Baron could come up into his hole. But right now, we're sitting at a, once again, 6,000-ish gold lead in favor of the blue team. Nothing has really changed. The red team has at least done a good job of stopping the bleeding. They haven't bled more gold. At this point, with this much pressure, I would have thought they would have been at a 10,000 gold lead. But they've been managing to get some kills. They've been managing to get some good CS. And they've managed to not lose too many more things, but they have no more lane turrets left. Like, right now, it's nothing but inhibitor turrets defending the base of the red team, and they haven't gotten a single turret for themselves, and they haven't gotten a single dragon either. Nidalee is right now on the second dragon, which will be their second ocean. Oh, sorry, they've actually got a dragon before that. I don't even know what the first dragon was then. We can look, though. We do have the knowledge. It is one ocean drake, which is now the second ocean drake, and a cloud drake. So those are some pretty substantial things which will really help their siege game if they get the Elder Dragon as well, but it helps generally having the Ocean Dragon while you're doing sieges because they just regenerate so much HP. If they had one Mountain Drake, they would just be an absolutely remarkable team for sieges and also team fights. But we do have everybody kind of like posing in the mid lane, probably looking for one of the final team fights, I would say. If the blue team had a very successful team fight and most of them got out fairly unscathed, they would probably end the game off of it. We are 23 minutes into this game, so we're not looking at long death timers, but we're looking at long enough death timers that they could do a substantial amount of damage to the red side base. But Amazing jumping in and not really getting much of anything. Illaoi being hooked in, doing a lot of damage to her, but the Illaoi ultimate missing absolutely everybody. Braum having to jump in with the Unbreakable to make sure that she doesn't die to the wild cards of the TF, and she's going to run away from this one, but we are starting to see some kinks in the armor. The Illaoi, when she does get focused down, can die very, very quickly. She does have the only tanky item, which is right now the Spirit Visage and also the Mercury Treads, but went for that Black Cleaver for that extra little bit of damage. But right now we're seeing that she's taking a lot of damage if she gets focused, so not the tank line that you were expecting, but we do of course have the Braum jumping in, giving her bonus armor and magic resistance, and then also stopping the majority of the spells with his Unbreakable. So I guess she doesn't have to worry that much, but it does make a very, very big difference if you don't land your ultimate on basically anybody, because that means you're not getting the regeneration or the bonus regeneration from that Spirit Visage. Right now the Glacial Fissure did land onto the TF, the exhaust going down as well, and Sivir right now chasing as far as she can. A lot of crits going down, and that is going to be a double kill for the Sivir, taking down the Kha'Zix and also the TF. Nidalee trying to jump over that wall, but not really going to work, just going to kind of pounce her face into it. Nothing else really going to come from that one, but that was a solid double kill from the Sivir, going very aggressive on that and landing the crits that she needed with those ricochet procs. We do have the Talia, who has built that Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Fairly standard Talia build right now. The Morella Nomicon followed by the Rylai's. Does so much damage, makes her so much healthier, and has a great amount of cooldown reduction for that Q. The only way that this team can get back in this game, I think, is if Ezreal seals us with Arcane Barrage. And it is not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very late on that one. Sadly, they had no vision, so it was just a purely blind Arcane Barrage. Those things are phenomenally rare, even though we see them in the top 5 plays so often. But sadly, I think that was one of the ways that they could have gotten back into this game if they did manage to steal it and get a couple turrets. Because the one thing that we do have to remember, there is like a 6,000 gold lead in favor of the blue team. But you look at how much gold is currently available on the map for the red team. Both of the both of the turrets in the mid lane and 2 of the second tier turrets in the top and also in the bot lane. There's a lot of gold sitting on the map that would basically equalize this game out. So if they had taken the Baron, managed to get a push on and take down some of these turrets, it would probably be an even game at this point. Okay, we do see a gold card coming out of the TF, though it was only for a minion. We at least know that he can in fact lock them in. But we're even seeing a level discrepancy here. Level 14 Nidalee to level 12 for the Kha'Zix. So that's unfortunate. Kha'Zix can't even really contest with the Nidalee in terms of a smite duel because of how much stronger it is. The Fizz is going to use the Chum the Waters onto the Alawi, doing a great job at utilizing his mobility spells to get away from the damage of Alawi. And right now, Talia being caught a little bit out here. The Unbreakable not coming down quite yet, but the Nidalee is here doing a lot of damage to the Twisted Fate. But it looks like the damage coming down from the Kha'Zix might, no, it's not enough to take down the Nidalee herself, but Twisted Fate is going to pay the price with his life, paying the price of his life against the Sivir, I think is what I was trying to say there, from just getting too much damage dealt in. The Fizz, once again, though, doing a great job avoiding a lot of the Alawi damage by utilizing that Q and his Playful Trickster, but sadly, I thought that the hook from Soaz was going to be enough to take down that Nidalee, but once again, she just heals up a little bit, and now she's nearly at full HP again with the Ocean Drake and her heals. It's just nowhere near enough to actually keep that Nidalee down. And this is going to be the first inhibitor of the game going down in favor of the blue team at 26.5 minutes. And right now, Fizz once again taking a lot of damage, but he is a very tanky Fizz. He does have the Trinity Force for the damage, but he has a large rod, a Giant's Belt, and a Frozen Heart for that certain amount of tankiness that he's looking for. Not entirely sure what the Giant's Belt is going to be built into. Could very well be a Riley's Crystal Scepter or even some more armor. But right now, we do have a catch onto the Alawi, but once again, she is very, very tanky. Glacial Fissure landing onto the Ezreal as well as a Spear from the Nidalee. That's going to be enough to shut him down. The heal is enough to keep her alive, not taking up the turret, and Alawi's going to take down the Thresh. Twisted Fate going down once again to the Sivir. I feel like that was two very, very quick kills in favor of the Sivir onto the TF, and right now, Alawi's just going to take up the turret. The exhaust going down onto Amazing, and he's going to try to run away from this one. Not sure if they're going to want to chase this or if they're going to go for more turrets, but I think that Amazing might be in a little bit of hot water right now. Both the Spear is going to miss, but the Flash coming out of Amazing as well. Not going to have enough to stun him up because he is going to get his jump back up, but Sivir right now is just pushing down the mid lane, getting down that Nexus, the inhibitor turret, and Fizz is just trying to do a little bit of damage control, trying to just run away from this team, saying, chase me, people, don't take my base. And wow, a Nidalee Spear landing very, very long range onto the Kha'Zix, and they are right now onto the Nexus turret. But the thing is, right now, everybody is alive for the red team, and they are not overly healthy on the blue side, but they do have Baroned up super minions, which are basically champions at this point in the game. Looks like Fizz taking a lot of damage. Chum the Water landing onto the Nidalee. She has no mana left, so there will be no more heals coming out of her for the next little bit. Taking a lot of damage. Talia is going to knock the Fizz into the minefield, and that is going to be enough for a kill, securing her 4th kill of the game. Thresh going down as well to the hands of the Sivir, or at least to the bouncing blades of the Sivir, and Ezreal now trying to take down the Talia. The Flash having to come in as well. The Spirit being taken down. The Alawi Spirit onto Amazing. Going to be enough to take that thing down, but is Amazing himself going to go down? No, he's going to jump away again, and TF is now teleporting in to try to take down Talia, and he is going to get it. Once again, Talia not landing the E into the minefield, which would have certainly been the kill onto TF, but luckily he got knocked away from the minefield, and he gets to walk away with his life. Barely much life at all, but he does at least live. So just going down these scores, I think it's pretty substantial when you look at the 10, 2, and 6 Sivir. She has done so well this game. And to be honest, the only one who didn't really kind of dick around and go for more kills managed to take down the middle lane inhibitor turret and the inhibitor itself. So I think that's probably a better use of the Sivir's time than to try to go for more kills. But right now, 29 minutes into this game, 23 to 15, 58.8k to 47.6k. We have passed that 10,000 gold lead in favor of the blue team. I like to call that the Flame Horizon, where it is. And that is a very tough spot to get out of. The dragon is available. It's another ocean dragon. I wouldn't be surprised to see the blue team go for it, but I also wouldn't be surprised to see them not really rush for it, because they already have 2 ocean drakes. It's just going to be more regeneration, which, don't get me wrong, definitely not a bad thing to have if you can take it for free, but they definitely wanted something like a mountain drake to deal with those Nexus turrets. I think one of them is actually already dead. Yes, there's only 1 Nexus turret left defending that Nexus of the red side. So I hate to say, but I don't think that the red team is long for this Summoner's Rift for much, much longer. Talia is going to use that ultimate to try to get onto the Fizz, but Soaz once again there with a very clutch lantern. Look at the damage coming in from that Talia with just 1 Q proc onto Amazing's Kha'Zix. Sadly, he's just so squishy. He does have that Maw of Malmortius, but it's not enough magic resistance to deal with the amount of damage that Talia is currently doing with that Void Staff and Morellonomicon and the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. It is just so much damage coming out, and he's got pretty much no armor, and the problem is, when you have to build a Kha'Zix like this, you're so far behind that you can't really execute anybody. Remember when he used to be able to take down 3/4 of Nidalee's HP with one combo? Now he's barely touching her with that full combo, but Nidalee is going to take enough damage to actually go down, and Talia right now trying to get away from this. Fizz is going to jump in onto her, but the Qs are going to miss, so he's not going to be slowed down, and Fizz going in pretty ham onto this Talia, going to have to jump away after the Q from the Braum did connect. Kha'Zix is going to jump away from this one. Ezreal having to use his heal and his arcane shift to try to get away, but he is not going to get away. It looks like the Alawi going to make the killing blow on that one with her W, and now it looks like Fizz is just playing Ring Around the Rosie. Going to use those wolves to try to get a little bit closer to this Talia. The flash coming in as well. The slow on the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, and it's going to be enough for Fizz to actually kill the Talia. Very, very nicely done, but oh man, once again, the Sivir, I feel like she's gotten more than a hat trick onto this TF for all those kills. TP coming in from the Alawi to make sure that that minion doesn't die, and right now we are on to the Nexus. One last team fight. Mason trying to do everything that he can, but he is going to get exhausted, and that's going to be another kill. Right now the Braum passive is onto the Fizz, but he is incredibly tanky. Don't think they're going to be taking him down anytime soon, and the Lantern from Soaz is going to be there. They are going to pull the Braum into the fountain, and he is going to go down, so at least you're going down with the fight, but I believe that both the Sivir and the Alawi are going to have enough to take down not only the Fizz, there's another crit, 409 crit, taking down that fish. And right now it's just the Thresh, but another amazing couple crits. Not quite enough to take down the Thresh, but very, very nicely done. There was the surrender vote. I don't believe that the enemy team actually killed the Nexus, so at least the red team does get to walk away with their pride that they surrendered, rather than them actually being beaten. So it looks like their pride was kept intact. So we did see a pretty great, amazing jungle from Kha'Zix, but it wasn't, you know, he kind of became lackluster in the mid game when everybody else started to get so fed that he had to build defensive items. That means he couldn't really one-shot anybody. I have to say, Soaz played a pretty mean Thresh, roaming exactly when he needed to, but sadly was just not enough to carry their team to victory. Very, very nicely played from the blue team. Thank you all so much for watching this high ELO commentary. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this video with your friends. But of course, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you all in the next video.